After all, guilds need role players. They need players that are just there to get activity every day, to farm Titanite every day, and to pull their weight on guild-wide activities like the Hydra.
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
What is up, heroes of Dominion? My name is Charlie. This is Hero Wars Central, and in this video, I want to talk about all of the heroes that you need on Hero Wars Mobile. That's right, the absolute final list of heroes. Just before Zisha came out, I should say. Not including Zisha. We don't really know yet about Zisha. The absolute final list of heroes that you need for Hero Wars Mobile. And it sounds ridiculous to say that out loud. It really does. But thanks to this chart and years of data from Guild Wars and Global Championship fights, we can now come up with the definitive team of heroes that you should level to finish or beat Hero Wars Mobile. Now, before I go any further, I gotta say this. This is obviously not going to be the case 100% of the time, all right? Various servers meta, that is the environment that you find yourself on a server, a lot of different teams in the Global Championships, it's not going to be exactly what I'm saying here. There's just no final, unbeatable, impossible to beat, the best. There's no teams that are like that, all right? You need a variety of heroes, okay? This video is going to be about the 25-ish heroes that you need, or at least it's going to begin the discussion about the 25-ish heroes that you need on Hero Wars Mobile in order to be competitive at the high ends. And I'm not talking about just in high-end PvP, Global Championships, Arena, Guild Wars. I'm talking about everything in Hero Wars Mobile. What is this chart? I don't know who put this chart together. I don't know. It was pinned to my channel by a guy named Toons in Discord. I'm not familiar with Toons' work. I'm not sure who he got it from, if they got it from somebody else. And this chart was dated back in like June, I think, June of 2021. So I'm sure that there are some changes, some variations to it. But we can take a look at this chart. And what this chart is, this is a representation of Hydra heads, okay? At the highest difficulty, the water head, the darkness head, the earth head across the top, the fire, wind, and light heads across the bottom. You can see the rows below each head. It says high, low, and then my high. High is the highest recorded damage done to that head with that team. So for example, up here on the top left against the water Hydra head, the top team, or the first team, Mojo, Zhu, Celeste, Maya, Markus, the recorded high was 22.39 million damage versus that Hydra. The recorded low, which I'm not sure why he's recording it here, but, you know, just for variance, I guess, is 19.8 million. And then my high is this author's high damage. Okay, so presumably what you could do is you could put in your own and kind of keep track, and you run with it there if you wanted to build a spreadsheet like this. And it continues across the board for all of these various teams. You start to see a little bit of a pattern. Some heroes are used quite frequently. Some heroes are only used once or twice. But when it comes to the Hydra head, keep in mind that you are given 3 free attacks. Okay, you can use more attacks with the Golden Horn, but assuming you can only use 3 free attacks, maybe you only want to use 3 free attacks, maybe your guild is good enough that you only need to use 3 free attacks, maybe occasionally using the horns here and there for extra attacks, but you know, we can talk about that a little bit in another video. If you have a discussion with your guild about what heads need help, like for example, if your guild is weak versus the earth head, if your guild is weak versus the wind head, then you have a very clear picture of the 3 teams that you should level up. Let's take this Wind Hydra head as an example. You have Team 1, Martha, Mojo, Zhu, Andvari, Maya. Second team here, Astaroth, Sebastian, Daredevil, Fox, Dorian. And the third team, Markus, Satori, Alvanor, Orion, Phobos. You got 15 heroes. This is not going to be all-inclusive. It's absolutely not. This is going to be good enough to be successful versus this Hydra head. You could go into every day with a plan to only attack the Wind Hydra head with the heroes that you level up. Now, the other side of that is, can you build a successful Grand Arena, Guild War, Arena, and Crossover War or Global Championship team out of this 15 heroes? So you could probably get pretty close. If we're assuming that we're not touching Titans at all, which that's a whole other video. This video is more focused on the hero side of things, not the Titan fighting. Can you build a successful team for Arena and Grand Arena and Guild Wars and all of that out of this 15 heroes? Well, yes and no, you can. I mean, obviously there's 15 here. You only need 15 heroes for Global Championships. You only need 15 heroes for Grand Arena. But it's good to have variation, right? It's good to have heroes that you can swap in and out for the various other defenses you're going to find yourself going up against. But keep in mind, this is just one head. You get 3 attacks, right? Every time you go into to fight the Hydra. So then you can look at when maybe you're going to also focus on earth and light. So now you have 3 Hydra heads, right? 3 attacks per day, 3 Hydra heads, and you have 15 heroes here, 15 heroes here, and 15 heroes here. Then you can start making a list of heroes that are good versus all 3 Hydra heads. Focus on those heroes first. As you build up your teams, and I mean your power level of your teams and your synergy of your teams, before you're allowed to be a champion in your guild war or a champion in your global championship, you can work on these to benefit your guild, right? Because you're still benefiting your guild by attacking the Hydra, even if you're not a champion in guild wars, even if you're not a champion in crossover wars or global championships or whatever. You can definitely be an asset to your guild by being an effective earth head killer or an effective light head killer, or wind, light, and earth. We're just going to use these as an example. So you make a list of these heroes. And again, guys, this is just one chart. There are a couple that are floating around out there, but this is just seems to be the most recent one on my Discord. And by the way, if you're curious about my Discord, there's a link in the description box down below. There is a channel called Hydra Battle Screenshots and Mobile Hydra channel. All kinds of discussion about fighting the Hydra heads if you're looking for that kind of thing in particular. There's also the Lineup Tactics mobile channel, which is a discussion about building teams for various activities, the arena, the grand arena, the guild war, the crossover war. You can find all of those channels in my Discord. Like I said, link is in the description box down below. But what you can do is, if you can communicate with your guild on which Hydra heads are the weakest and need the most help, if you really want to build the best team for your guild, you could work on this set of heroes. Now, what I did, if you're looking for the entire list, if you're looking at this entire list, I actually listed them all out. There are 29 total heroes in that screenshot. There are 29 total heroes on this page right here. And of those 29 heroes, I have a list here of how many each of them were used. You can see that by far the tanks that are used the most are Astaroth with 3 and Galahad with 3, and then Rufus and Aurora at 1 each. You have your entire list of damage dealers. Mojo and Daredevil are the most used at 6. You have Orion at 5, you have a couple at 4, Fox, and then a bunch more at 3, so on and so on. You have your healers. The number 1 healers are Martha and Dorian, followed by Celeste and then Markus, who also pulls a tank role kind of in a lot of the teams. And then you have your strictly supports. This is just an easy grouping that I threw together. If you wanted to level up every hero that you need forever, and let me say that again, if you want a list of every hero that you will ever need in Hero Wars, this is as good a list as any. Okay, these 29 heroes on the left here are as good a list as any. Not only will you be effective against Hydras if you level up the appropriate teams for the appropriate heads, but you'll also be fantastic in Grand Arena, in Arena, and Guild War and Crossover War. Because in these 29 heroes, you can find various teams, a lot of teams that you can mix and match heroes in to be very successful at any of those activities. Is this the absolute definitive list? Well, absolutely not. Like I said earlier on, there's a lot of variations in server meta. There's a lot of reworked heroes. There's a lot of new heroes added. Every 3 to 6 months, it seems like things change just a little bit. Some of the amazing teams are less effective than they were before, but this is a good start. The real discussion I believe that we need to start having, and this is probably a video that I'm going to do later this week, the real discussion that I think that we need to have is how important are guild wars anymore? If you are interested in the high-level player versus player, you need to be in a very strong guild. Yeah, of course. You need to be in the Gold League, but in a little bit, you only need to be in the Silver League in order to participate in the Global Championship, and you need to be participating in the Global Championship. In order to participate in the Global Championship and a Silver and a Gold League guild, you need to have teams that are strong enough to get there. Before you're a champion in those guilds, you need to build up your teams to help the guild, doing your activity every day, farming your Titanite every day, clearing the Hydra head as often as you can, pulling your weight against the various Hydra heads that you are assigned to deal with. And as you build up your Titan team and your hero teams, you will eventually become a champion in guild wars and crossover wars or global championships, whatever you want to call it. The other side of that is, if maybe you're not interested in the high-end PvP, maybe you are interested in just having an end game, an end goal in mind in order to be supportive for your guild. After all, guilds need role players. They need players that are just there to get activity every day, to farm Titanite every day, and to pull their weight on guild-wide activities like the Hydra. And if you're that kind of player, and a lot of you might be interested in doing that, then focusing on this strategy instead of focusing on building a team for Guild War might be the better strategy for you. I don't know. That's another video for another day. Let me know in the comment section down below, guys. Do you focus on a specific Hydra head every time you go into the Hydra fights? Do you have communication with your guild, or you just kind of throw pasta at the wall and see what sticks? I'm definitely interested. We have a lot of fun videos around this topic coming this week, and I cannot wait to get to them all. We got to talk about Zhu and the problem with the Zhu versus the Hydra heads. We got to talk about the daily quest and not being able to claim them. And I have a more advanced hero building guide coming a little bit later this week. A similar premise to this, but a little bit different take on it. I love you all. Good luck in Dominion.